guys. Okay, so let's finish up these videos. So the characteristics of relationships. There's sorry. There we go. There is two, I would say, yeah. The two ones that they cover in the book are the two here, which is relationships are always changing. It's a fact of life. They change, they evolve. They go through repetition a lot too, just as we were discussing before, how some of those stages that were discussed are on this like circular cycle. They repeat, different stages repeat, and your relationships are often always in cycle until they end or if they end. And then relationships are affected by culture. So the culture that we live in, Western, Eastern, whatnot, affects our relationships, affects who we're in relationships with, friendships, romantic-wise, whatever, and then what we look at in people for relationships. Sorry. Okay. And then there's the communicating about relationships, which is the major force of that is content versus relational messages. Content relationships is just the content, the subject being discussed. The relational side is making statements about how we feel about one another. A lot of times this is shown through our tone and our nonverbal behaviors. So the tone of voice, we can be saying, yeah, I'm fine, but then that tone of voice, whatever tone we use, might say otherwise. And then our nonverbal behaviors a lot of times communicate a lot. As we've discussed in previous chapters, body language is a huge form of communication. All right, and then there's the types of relational messages. There's affinity, so the degree to which people like or appreciate one another. Immediacy, the degree of interest and attention that we feel toward and communicate with each other. So, for instance, nonverbal communication is really common when it comes to immediacy. Eye contact, keeping eye contact, not looking away or just keeping our eyes averted down. And then respect is the next one, and that involves esteem. You can have affinity for someone and not respect them, and then vice versa. You can have respect for someone and not like them. Respect is more of you appreciate what they're doing. They have esteem, not their personality. It's more of what they do than how they do it, kind of thing. And then there's control, the degree to which the parties in a relationship have the power to influence one another. So who guides the conversations? Who makes the decisions? In a relationship, does someone make all the decisions about where you eat dinner, and then the other person makes all the decisions about how to handle your money? It's control. Who has the control over certain aspects of the relationship? And then there's the meta communication, which isn't a type of relational message. It's just plain meta communication. It's the messages that people exchange verbally or non-verbally about their relationship. That can be, obviously, when it comes to Facebook, being Facebook official, that's non-verbal communication to everybody that, hey, we're in a relationship, we like each other, we're committed. Or it can be hanging out with them a lot, taking pictures with them, posting them, or just bringing them up in conversations a lot. This is the type of communication that I agree, I like this relationship, I'm in this relationship with this person, whether it's a friendship, a family relationship, or a romantic relationship. And meta communication can also go the opposite way with, hey, I have a relationship with this person in a really negative way. I don't have an affinity for them. I might respect them, but I don't really like them. I'm standing away from them. I cringe when they try to stand too near to me. Okay. And then we go into how to maintain interpersonal relationships. So the strategies that were listed are positivity, openness, assurance, social networks, and sharing tasks. Those are all pretty straightforward. You're supporting You're using social support. You're supporting using resources such as emotional support, informational support, and instrumental support. So, the emotional support, I'm here for you. I'm here with you during times of stress and hurt and grief, and I listen to you and I listen about your pain. Informational support is we're getting information, we're sharing information. A lot of times this informational support comes in the form of work friends a lot of times, because work friends often share information regarding the job with each other. You can see this a lot with teachers. We share information with each other, especially because a lot of us teach similar classes or have taught the class previously and a new teacher is teaching it this trimester, and so we share that information. We give them support with this information. And then instrumental support. It's pretty much doing this task. I'm supporting you by doing a task, a physical task. I'm picking you up from the airport. I'm caring for you during a sickness that I'm cooking soup. I'm taking care of your house or taking care of your kids while you are sick. It's the actual I'm doing something, physically doing something. I'm just trying to see what types I really want to go into. All right, so then there's the relational transgressions. So these things that kind of violate the terms of a relationship, a positive working relationship. So lack of commitment on either side or on both sides. Distance, too much distance, physical or psychological, can ruin a relationship. Disrespect, obviously. Problematic emotions. This can be considered jealousy, suspicion, rage, emotions that affect negatively the relationship. And then aggression, verbal hostility, physical violence. Obviously, that is huge when it comes to a transgression in a relationship. And then minor versus significant. Again, that's mostly talking about how, there's minor transgressions that can be forgiven, and then there's significant ones that really destroy relationships and you can't really get over. And then there's social versus relational. So social transgressions that violate social rules. So a social transgression, that unspoken social rule that, for instance, you wouldn't really ridicule or yell at a person you're in a relationship in public, that's a transgression. And then relational rules are kind of like, a lot of times you have them in families. There are those rules that, hey, if I'm going to be late, I'm going to call. And breaking those rules and breaking those relational rules can cause a lot of negativity in a family relationship. And then there's the deliberate versus unintentional. I'm sure all of you are familiar with that. Sometimes you deliberately, obviously, make a transgression, like cheating. That's very deliberate. Unintentional, you break a rule that you don't need to. Like you lash out sometimes and you say things you don't really mean to say. That's often unintentional. And then there's a one-time versus incremental. So one time is, it happened once, it's never going to happen again. And then it's the incremental ones that just keep on happening. They occur over time. A lot of times they're subtle, but they keep on occurring and occurring and occurring. All right, so strategies for relational repair: expressing regret, obviously, accepting responsibility, making restitution, which, what can I do to make it right again? Trying to make it right. Generally repenting, and then requesting forgiveness. And then this last slide is maintaining interpersonal relationships. So when responding to transgressions, there's three ways: acceptance, rejection, and discussion. So acceptance, I accept that you did this. I can't forget what you did, but I believe your apology and I accept it, and we can move on from here. Rejection, sorry, I can't let this go. This was too far. You can't make up for what you did. Our relationship is over. And then discussion, I appreciate your apology, but I don't understand why this is such a I don't think you understand why this is such a big deal to me. I want to discuss it further because I don't think you really truly understand why I'm upset about this. All right, so that is chapter 9. We will be reading chapter 10 for next week, but that is something for next week. So I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I hope you enjoy Cinco de Mayo if you celebrate it. If not, that's cool too. But if you do celebrate it, maybe send some pictures to me that, some fun pictures of some good food you're eating. And if you dress up, maybe take some pictures of that. I would love to see them. I'd love to see how you celebrate. So enjoy your Cinco de Mayo. Have a great day.